Hey everyone, today we're diving into a keyboard that truly caught me off guard and quickly became one of my favorite gaming keyboards, the Nuphy Air60 HE. This isn't just a low profile Hall effect keyboard, it's also one of the fastest Hall effect keyboards on the market right now. Combine that with the impressive stock sound and excellent software and I have to admit that I'm genuinely impressed. But of course no keyboard is perfect, so let's jump into the review and break it all down. The unboxing experience is pretty simple. Inside you get the keyboard, a dust cover, a 90-degree angled USB-C cable, a keycap and switch puller, plus extra keycaps for Mac users and non-translucent keycaps if you prefer a more minimal look. The Air60 HE comes in two variants, one with magnetic jades for $120 and one with magnetic jade pros for around $140. The difference? The magnetic jades have a POM stem, PC top housing and nylon bottom housing, giving them a higher pitched sound and a lighter feel due to their spring. On the other hand, the jade pros are fully made out of POM, offering a deeper or more thocky sound and smoother feel, but they also come with a heavier spring. I personally went with the Jade Pros because I like heavier switches and sound is important to me, but if you prefer something lighter, I would go with the regular Jades. A lot of people had complaints about the loud design of the Field 75 HE, but with the Air60 HE, Nuphy definitely kept things toned down. It's a clean, minimalistic 60% keyboard with muted colors. The keycaps feature gray alphas, black modifiers, and some translucent purple accents, which in my opinion looks super cool. You've also got customizable RGB sidelights on the aluminum top frame, and the bottom is translucent grey ABS with flip out feet that have decent grip and the shiny badge that we've also seen on the Field 75 HE. On the front side of the keyboard we will find the mute switch and a small Air60 HE logo. The only design flaw for me is the USB-C port placement, which is on the left side, so if I wanted to use my custom cable like that it would definitely look a bit weird, but I found this right angle USB-C adapter which fixed this problem for me. As for the build quality, I'm again extremely impressed what Nuphy delivered. It feels surprisingly solid for such a slim keyboard, especially considering its relatively light weight of just 541 grams. From the aluminum top frame to the ABS bottom, everything feels extremely nice to the touch. As for the keycaps, this is the only part where I'm not as impressed as I've used to be with previous Nuphy boards. They are pretty thin, which also makes the RGB easily shine through them, and some of my legends on the modifier seem to be slightly crooked. Another downside is that they are also quite slippery and for my liking lack a bit of texture. The typing experience on the Air60 HE is super smooth and stiff, which I personally prefer on Hall effect keyboards. The low profile Jade Pro switches feel incredibly nice with a satisfying sound thanks to the various dampeners like PCB and plate foam, plus a silicone dampener all the way at the bottom. And I have to say that I'm seriously impressed by the subtle and creamy kind of sound this keyboard produces. Another benefit in my opinion is that these switches have the same 3.3mm travel distance as the regular sized Jades, so you've got plenty of room for rapid trigger and other Hall effect features. As for the stabilizers, they are yet again exceptionally well looped out of the box. The only downside for me is the spacebar. It could use some tweaking to be quieter. I suspect the noise is coming due to the keycap itself, as it doesn't feature the silicone molding around the stem like we've seen on previous Nuphy boards, and like I've said before, the keycaps are quite thin. Just like the Wooting boards, the Air60 HE is packed with features like SOCD, mod tab, dynamic keystroke and adjustable actuation points, all accessible through the in my opinion best looking web-based software. To do this, you simply select the profile via the mode switch on the keyboard. In the key bindings tab you can set up things like DKS, mod tab, toggle key, rapid shift, SOCD and hyper tab by just right clicking a certain key. This tab also allows you to simply remap keys and set up function layers. Next up in the trigger settings section you can fine tune actuation actuation points, rapid triggers and dead zones for each key. Actuation points range from 0.1mm to 3.3mm, and you can adjust the rapid trigger and steps as small as 0.01mm. Under the switch selection tab, you can also recalibrate the keyboard based on the switches you're using. Next up is the new macro tab, which a lot of people ask for, and it's just so nice to see how quickly Nuphy came up with it. In the lighting tab, you've got a bunch of RGB effects to choose from, including both backlight and sidelight customization, although perky RGB still isn't available. Under mode settings, you then got several gaming related features, such as locking certain keys, gaming optimization and polling rate. Lastly, there's a small settings icon where you can save your keyboard's configurations, import and export them, and update the firmware. And so far, I have to say that I'm really impressed how often Nuphy drops updates. It's just nice to see how much they care about their new lineup of keyboards. When it comes to gaming, the Air60 HE performs right up there with the best. It features 8000Hz scan and polling rate, which results in extremely low latencies. And Nuphy also provided those in some of their social media posts, and it can also be found in iJoker's database, where it was even faster than the 80HE. Personally, since I don't own any latency measurements tools myself, I just went by feel and used it for a month straight, and whether I compared it to the 60HE or 80HE or any other Hall effect keyboard I have laying around, I really couldn't notice a difference. The keyboard feels incredibly responsive, and its ultra low front height paired with the low profile switches and keycaps, in my opinion, delivers an amazing in-game experience. It's so good that it actually turned me into a low profile enthusiast. But that being said, I have to admit that it did take me some time to get used to it, especially since the narrow gaps between the keys and rows occasionally led me to pressing the wrong ones at first. In my opinion, the Air60 HE offers incredible value for the price without sacrificing performance or features. So if you're looking for a low profile, compact option, it's easily one of the best out there right now, if not even the best low profile gaming keyboard, especially if you consider the very fair price point of just around $120 if you go with the regular Jade switches. But as always, I would love to hear your thoughts though, so drop a comment below, and if you enjoyed the review, make sure to like and subscribe, and don't miss my shorts for quick unboxing videos of new gear.